Oh, holy crap, it's the new year already. Hi everybody. My name is Caleb Wade. I am the person that does a lot of stuff behind the scenes and in front of the scenes as the main GM of Credimented Actual Plays. We had a crazy year, and unfortunately, I could not get this out before the holidays hit because holidays happened and I had to do things during the holidays. So, since it is still winter, I would like to tell you about this fantastic little adventure that I got to run with our missing player from the season 3 finale, Anita. We whipped up a wintertime adventure to explain what happened. So, you're about to hear that. Part 1 is this episode right here, the one that you're listening to. And part 2, well, I guess you could just go and listen to it right after. It's going to be posted right along with it. So be cozy. Be cozy. Wow. Okay. Get cozy, enjoy yourselves, and enjoy a wintertime adventure of our favorite lesbian wizards. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode for Abernathy Academy entitled D and Jane's Wintertime Adventure. My name is Caleb Wade. I am your MC for this Kids on Brooms game. And because, unfortunately, the player that we have here today could not be here for the finale, we decided to get together and record this adventure to explain why Detroit was not here. Speaking of, playing Detroit is...
Anita! Hey everybody, Anita here. Yeah, I was really sad that I couldn't be a part of the finale, and I'm very grateful to Caleb for putting this thing together last minute. Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna play Detroit DaVille. Absolute simp. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Winter adventure? I have no idea what's gonna happen next. So let's get into it.
It is the day before the formal. You've recovered from your sprained ankle. Things are in motion. With the community that you have found at Abernathy Academy, you have a game plan. But maybe that's the last thing on your mind. Detroit, how do you propose the idea of going to the Apate Moon formal to Janeira Evenwood?
So boom. D has been cooking up in the kitchen, figuratively this time. Just trying to trying to figure out, okay, how do I ask this girl? I thought I might have had a little bit of a chance like throughout the last year, and now the odds of me having a chance to like ask this person out and possibly go steady with this person, wild, just became exponentially larger. So she's been making moves, talking to people, like making connections, calling in favors. And
yeah, she is basically part of the gang. Like, it is you four, Pyrrhus, and Janeira, basically.
Like, D specifically for like the day before the formal has asked everyone in uh the everyone in the astrology house, everyone in the history of magic house, to not need their prefects for the next however many hours. And has also uh, called in some very big favors from some of the more talented summoning seniors at the school. to sort of make a pocket dimension.
A pocket
Uh,
dimension within a pocket dimension?
yeah, like a
Okay.
turducken pocket dimension for um for D and Jane to be alone in. Um, D has sketched out and like done a lot of preparations. Like it is inside of this pocket dimension is just a very like it's basically space, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like a very beautiful and bright and big view of like the fireworks galaxy, the Andromeda galaxy, all of the ones that like D knows that Jane has some sort of connection to or like feels with um are like visible and prominent in the sky. Um and the day before the Apate Moon Festival, Jane walks into her common room, which isn't her common room, and just begins floating up into space. Um,
I think there was like a quick meeting between you and one of the seniors. It's just like, okay, so how to use this pocket dimension? You focus on this key right here really hard. You're a smart person. I know you can handle it.
that's that is worrisome that like this person is like to D it's more like okay like I know that I'm smart and capable and you know that I'm smart and capable, so if you're giving me this warning there is a very good chance that I could really fuck this up. um so
Is
she
D thinking what might happen if D fucks it up?
you know this person's right, probably. I I have I have this key. All I gotta do is focus. I'm very, very smart. This could not possibly go wrong.
Do you make me a brains roll difficulty of 11?
That's so true, bestie. Uh, let's see how we do. All
Mm-hmm.
right, first roll of the night. Let's set the
First
tone,
roll of the night. Let's
besties.
go.
Okay, just the stat.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
That's a 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that by focusing on this key, it will attune your magic to the opening of the pocket dimension like a portal. But if you don't focus, so it will be really easy for you because it's attuned to your magical signature. Sorry. The seniors have made this senior has made sure that it would be attuned to you.
Mhm.
However, if you do end up fucking it up, it might rip everything apart in like a 30-meter radius and just completely disintegrate it like a black hole. But it'll be really easy for you not to fuck up.
It'll be so easy for me not to fuck up. It I'm not gonna fuck up. I'm not gonna fuck up at all. It'll be fine. I'm gonna impress this incredibly hot girl and I'm gonna stay focused and it's gonna be fine. Um
They do instruct you first time is free, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you want to access this pocket dimension again, you're going to have to focus on it. Okay, have fun with your prom thingy. And then they just leave because they've got better things to do. They're a senior. So Janeira walks into her dorm. Was it the dorm common room or just her dorm room?
the common room.
So she walks in and taking a step, immediately starts floating and starts like looking around as if she is about to be under attack. So you, I don't think she very quickly and very smartly sort of flips, like she's sort of floating and like losing like a sense of like gravity or like direction. She sort of like flips herself up and then summons a glyph that will hold her gravity to that glyph. Like it's nothing. Like it's second nature. And as she's sort of like surveying and like wand, because she uses the wand out, what does she say?
Um, yeah, she's probably looking around a bit confused, like gets the glyph out, centers the gravity, probably like on fight or flight mode until I think first she hears a familiar and looks
And
up
you
to
see
see
her immediately relax.
uh,
Even though her
and
face is still determined.
yeah, she looks up to see Detroit waiting on her broom in the middle of the void. Um and
Is
I
Cat
think
with you?
oh god. I'm I think Kat has been extra clingy these past few weeks.
Yeah, especially after what
and
happened at that chat and you falling. Yeah.
yeah, like I think that like there's also a thing where like Kat and Dee have had a psychic link that has not been broken since they have met. Except for that night when Dee fell and lost magic and could not like there was a thing broken there.
Yep.
So it was a pretty scary time for Kat. Kat is not letting Dee out of their sight. So
Cat is like clinging onto the broom, like nails dug into the wood, and just sort of like glaring at you, but in a way like if you ever fucking leave me again, I will fucking end you. Like I'll find a way. Your girlfriend will not save you.
yeah. There yeah, that it's funny, like all of this is happening in the back of like all of these things are being said to Dee in these like subconscious psychically because Kat and Dee are tight like that, but Dee is just focused on Jane right now because golly, I mean, you always look absolutely celestial, but like this backdrop,
Jane just sighs
you
and
are
sort
a
of
wonder.
like Jane just sighs and just kind of rolls her eyes playfully as she like puts her wand and like she's wearing like this like very long dress with like a bit of like a vest over it. Like it's very nicely tailored. The vest has like an inside pocket for her wand. It's themed after the constellation of Cassiopeia. And as she walks towards you, Detroit, like she's upside down to you, and a little like below you, like with like height level. But as she walks, like the glyphs sort of like turn and rotate as she is then walking upright towards you. So what's all this about?
You are absolutely right. Sorry, doing too much. Told myself I wasn't gonna do too much. gotta be serious and normal.
You
Normal
not doing
Detroit.
too much at all. Really. And she's saying that with like a very knowing smile, like, you, Detroit, really? You're telling yourself that? Okay.
Um, yeah, like, honestly, D is just like, this is obviously something that D has rehearsed a lot and is trying like very hard to like keep stick to the script, but
Fuck,
also
where are my
like
cue cards? Shit. Where's the teleprompter? Fuck.
that part, like there are probably a there are probably like God, no. Cue cards would not be floating around like in the space around her. That's a bit too silly. Like she memorized.
Would
She's
there
got this.
be behind Janeira stars sort of like form the words that you need to say?
Yeah, I feel like there would be a bit of like yeah, since it's attuned to my magic, I feel like not like a teleprompter style, but like a cue words, just like a
like
topic, get
like
me back on
audience
topic.
laugh. Like
That energy, you know?
gotcha. That's so funny.
And I feel like at
Oh,
first it's just like Detroit, focus up. Uh, and D like sort of, okay. Hi, Jane. Thank you
hello, Detroit.
for coming to my ambush. I
You're welcome.
I have something I need to say to you. So I told everybody not to need us for a little while.
All
Um,
right. And she's sort of like, she's still playful, but she's like, okay, this is serious. What is it? Do we need to go over the plans for the formal?
this is about that weird day where the principal went all world star on her grandchild or nephew. I'm not sure still exactly what went on, but
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, um,
Afterwards. It's like she
so
knows exactly what happened, but she's like, say it. Go ahead.
so I've made a habit of trying to live without regrets. I'm very used to tomorrows not being promised for people I care about. And you mean the universe to me. And hearing you say that you aren't worthy of things like a relationship, it really didn't make sense to me. So I wanted to try to be serious and normal and tell you that I really considered dropping out at the end of fall semester last year. Being prefect
What?
being prefect was really, really hard. For the first semester, Professor Vigoro was the absolute worst. And I really struggled with being head of a house that no one on campus really respected. And when Tilda kept telling me all the things I was doing wrong, every single prefect meeting that semester, I thought for a second that maybe I wasn't supposed to be at Abernathy. And then you stood up for me. And
Yes, I threatened to curse her entire bloodline. Be incredibly easy, too.
And that was so good of you. Topic. Back on it. We're fine.
Okay.
It had been a really long time since someone had thought to care for me. Because I just try to be a person that doesn't show everyone when my personal things are bad, but you sort of see me, and you always see me. And when you saw how upset I was because of this school being the worst sometimes, you stood up for me. You wanted me to be alright. And it got me through the hardest parts of the rest of sophomore year. So I do the most when I talk to you, because I want you to know that your presence in my life really saved me and saves me. And it's why I'm here. So it really doesn't make sense to me when you don't think you deserve good things. I know you are very smart and an excellent judge of character, but I think you might be a bit biased when thinking about you. Because I think you deserve great things. Well, the best things, actually. Yeah. That was a lot.
Do you want to go to the formal with me? I figured all of this was leading up to that, but I wasn't expecting this emotional turn, and I should have, because you're you and you're fantastic and you always speak your mind. And I'm sorry, I've been dealing with a lot of insecurity. Everyone looks at me and expects me to be my sister, but I'm not. So if shit's gonna go left at the formal, I want to be there with someone who has never expected anything of me but to just be me. You say that my presence saved you, but it's also the other way around. You know that, right? Even if I don't think I deserve you, you did save me. So perhaps we can save each other.
The stars, just all around begin, shimmering, brighter and brighter, and...
it's like those studios,
Yeah. Some... things are a little bit overloaded, and it's... you can... I think you can... I think D is, holding onto the key, and you can see it, vibrating with resonance with, Detroit's magic and Detroit's entire mood and self-control, which just goes absolutely out the window when Janeira is anywhere within a 50-foot radius. And I think I think that Dee is just going to lunge off the broom and try to hug her. Um,
And Janeira just catches D and spins her, she, her as well for Detroit, yes? Just want to
yeah,
make sure.
she, her, and they, them.
She, theys, and he, theys. So, oh my gosh. I didn't think I was about to cry during this fun little adventure. Uh, anyway, uh, as Dee like leaps off the broom, Janeira just catches her and spins her around. And just holds her and looks at her with like the biggest smile on her face. So how about we figure this out together? Sound good to you?
That sounds perfect. Um,
Of course, we're going to have to coordinate our outfits, make sure that we are the most fashionable people at the formal, and bring Tildy and her bloodline to shame. Simple enough. And she just like simply like puts you down and like gives you like a peck on the cheek as she starts to walk on her glyphs out of the out of the dorm common room, just going through the plan like to you aloud as if she's already planned at least this part out.
that, yeah, like, honestly, Dee hadn't thought, like, far enough ahead to the formal in the way of, like, the formal is a dance and a social event where people, like, do things. Dee was looking at the Apple Titty Moon Festival
The
and
Apple
just
Teeny Moon Festival.
being like, okay, this is this has red flags all over it. I feel like the headmistress is gonna like have some sort of big final stand. There's something icky just about all of this happening. Everybody knows that like world star wizard hip hop knows that that principal, that the headmistress was trying to murder someone on campus, and that's that whole thing. um and has and these preparations have just been like, okay, everybody in the history of Magic House have a buddy going into the formal, like have a text chain and a text thread set up, know where the emergency exits are, know how to make some emergency exits if you just need to blow a hole through the wall to get out if something bad goes down, like has
As
been
you
doing
are
those
like
type of
and
preparations.
and as you share that plan with your house, I'd like for you to make a charm roll difficulty of 13
Oh, bestie.
because I want to
That's
see if you can catch this.
okay. um that's that's not going to be great.
Don't know
Yeah,
until
this
unless you try. You might explode.
um okay. Um would this be a use of my common fucking sense? Um
Yes.
just
Yes, actually it would. Yes.
thank you so much. All right,
Yeah,
let me
no
roll
worries.
this
So add it so
d6.
add a d6.
All right. Let's see what I can do.
Okay, so that's a 3.
Not great. But
Now
all I
add your
need
charm.
now is a 10 on my d12, which is possible.
It's
And I love
possible.
that for me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Here we go.
And this is a planned action, so you can add adversity tokens to this.
We love to see it. All right.
Okay, so that's 9. You started with 3 adversity tokens in this session.
I started with 3. I had 2 at the end of last session.
So you have 5.
Oh, so I get another +3. That's so cool.
Yep.
And
if someone in the comments says, "Hey, that's not how adversity tokens work," shut the fuck up. This is my game. So you want to go by the rules so bad? Run your own fucking podcast. Run your own fucking Kids on Brooms podcast. Do it yourself.
Yeah. Comment person. I don't know you, comment person.
Yeah, Chad. Yeah, Tanner.
I got a 9 right now. It was a 13, yeah?
It was a 13. Mm-hmm.
I'll spend
the 4. Do you want
4.
to spend all of the... but if you fail, you get 2 adversity tokens, which you could use for later.
I will spend the 4 because D cares so much about D's house. And if there's something that is weird or a little bit off, D is keyed in there. So what's happening with them?
I don't know if you will be, or rather, I don't know if Detroit knows if they will be able to act on this before the formal. But you notice that some history of magic students are sort of like not like ignoring you outright, but they're sort of like whispering and making their own plans. And they're sort of like convening together. About 6 of them.
Oh God. Like, how do I know these history of magic majors? Like, are they more first years that are new to me? Are they like second, third, fourth years?
They're around your year, but you know that. Ooh, how can I put this? If the other player characters, Janeira and Pyrrhus, are like the 6 we're following, this would be the 6 another story would be following. And I don't think that story would have them as clear-cut protagonists, as it were.
Okay.
They're not great people.
Okay.
They seem to really, really want to be on.
They're the history of magic majors that are really into World War II. I see. I'm so sorry, listeners. Like, if you are really into World War II and you're listening to this podcast,
sometimes you gotta take a few strays. I'm sorry. You chose this. You chose to make World War II your personality. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta take some strays, and also sometimes you gotta touch some fucking grass. Also, mind you, if that is your entire personality plus the Civil War. Stop going to reenactments. Maybe go to a forest.
Oh no.
Touch a tree. Have some water.
I forgot about Civil War reenactors. Yeah, there's some Civil War reenactors in this group.
I live in a Midwestern state. Yeah.
Oof.
So yeah. That's the vibe.
Okay. Yeah, I understand completely now. And I'm like, oh, okay. These are Professor Vigoreau's favorite students. And there are some people that I simply can't save. History gets a bad rap. History gets a really bad rap just in general, in the teaching of it, in the learning of it.
Some people you just can't say.
And
Oh
Like
my gosh.
I'd like to think that Dee would like to think that Detroit has made history, the study of it, better at this school just by virtue of the questions that she asks in lecture and the presence that they try to make in the house. And um yeah, they got some Civil War reenactors that really want to come here to study history of magic.
Mm-hmm.
So for with
Well,
them,
they want to make sure that their idea of World War II is proper with the idea of wizards and
oh,
magic.
okay. Um,
These are the
Dee's
type of
gonna see them.
people, shall we say, who love a spin-off of a very beloved children's book series made by an incredibly problematic person, uh following the adventures of a nerdy white boy who likes animals. And they may or may not sympathize a bit too hard with the character played by, I believe, Johnny Depp in one of the films.
Oh, oh, besties. Okay, yeah, we'll
Some of
just
them may or may not be Snape wives. I don't know.
y'all. y'all can y'all can just do what you want to do during the Appleton
The apple
moon.
martini, the Appleton, Wisconsin moon.
Like you do what you do. If you're not listening to me, that is on you. I've done as much as I can um for
You
for
know what?
y'all.
Sometimes people gotta die. Sometimes, if shit goes left, they're the first ones being punched. I'm sorry. So, you prepare your houses, you prepare your outfit for the formal,
Yeah.
and it is.
Detroit is not good at preparing outfits.
Well, don't worry. Janeira is taking care of that for you.
Oh, we
Uh,
we love a
it
girl
is full of
boss.
celestial iconography.
Yes.
And if she is the moon, you are the sun.
Wild. Um she's so smart and so talented. Um
It's like the look itself, like, is this sort of like subtly gold masterpiece that seems to blend in with your usual color. I want to say, I get the vibe that Detroit's usual color is like a navy blue. Am I wrong?
usual color is more of a light green.
That's fair. Ooh, so it's very summertime too. And
Yes.
maybe by this she is hearkening back and saying that you are the summertime fine one this time.
Uh, um
There is a
the
singular piece of jewelry with it that is just a silver pendant of the moon. That you might think, okay, this kind of clashes with the gold of the outfit. But when you see Janeira, who looks like instead of summer, she is wrapped in the idea of winter. With silver and like silver with like black and like dark blues. She has a gold pendant of the sun. Her hair is twisted out, it falls on her shoulders. You two are about to walk into the formal together. She meets you
yeah,
outside of your room.
I think
How does it fit?
like D opens up the door. Um like the way it looks on screen, like the blush deepens on the cheeks. There is possibly like an anime nosebleed that just like spontaneously happens a little bit, and just like
Kiss me under the
takes
beard and barley.
just takes out the
Kiss
spell book
me.
really quickly, like clean myself up, it's fine. Uh, like does a little glamour, like get gets everything like back in place,
Oh, I'm
and is
sure Professor
just
Bellwether has taught you a very quick glamour that can get you quote unquote camera ready.
yes. um and well,
Also, while speaking of Professor Bellwether, I'd like for you to make a brains check, difficulty 10.
okay. um God, can Detroit think right now? That's a great question. Let's see what
And
happens.
you could also half it, but considering where Detroit's headspace is, you might want to roll.
Yeah, that tracks, buddies. That is a 2 on the D20.
So take your two adversity tokens. You've heard
Yeah.
rumors like about Professor Bellwether, but they can't possibly be true. They're rumors that are like, did you know that he was like a stage magician before he worked here? He was like a stage magician in like San Francisco or some shit. And you're just like, stop lying on that, Professor. He's done nothing but be kind to you.
Yeah, I think the thing for D is that D really doesn't like defense against harmful magics class. Like she goes there because it is a part of the credits that she needs to graduate. But
Mm-hmm.
like she isn't like much of a studier of like practical magic, and like D doesn't get into magic
I mean,
fights
I
or
don't know,
fights
Nicole Kidman. I'm
in
sorry.
general.
Practical magic. I'm sorry.
Listen. Like
It's silly hours, audience. I don't know what to tell you.
I,
Did you come here for a serious episode?
D is very serious. Serious Detroit. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. No, is honestly not thinking at all about Professor Bellwether. Is and probably is like messing up the quick like glamour charm to get her face right. Um and just because like wow, she's really living a dream here. Like this person asked her out on a date to the formal, and she looks better than like Detroit looks better than she's looked in a very long time. Like um dress up wise, feels more comfortable than ever
I
dressed
have to
up.
ask you, is it a dress? Is it a pantsuit? What's the vibe?
Huh. I think it is like a sort of combination that goes from like a the sort of like top half of like a vest and like a button down with a bow tie that sort of like goes down into a long flowing skirt. Uh,
Gotcha.
and yeah, with those like yellows and like with those yellow like sunlight and green like sort of uh sun patterns like throughout, um and then with like this one necklace uh of the moon, and then just seeing like, oh, jane has Jane's whole thing is the moon, And like this necklace is sort of her claiming me. Um Detroit is a little too gay for this to be thinking or doing any magic at all.
You open the door and Janeira is standing outside. Her hair sort of like twisted out and like her like falling to her shoulders. Uh, collarbone on full display as she is wearing this uh sort of this sort of like oh gosh, how to describe it. It's sort of like this sort of like cloak or like capelet that sort of like folds over the shoulders, but still shows a little skin and is like held together with like a moon, a moon sort of like uh, clasp going into this beautifully designed like corseted pantsuit and long gloves, like long, like full gloves, kind of Emma Frosty, but like moon iconography a bit, like kind of like black into like a navy ombre with like silver accessories, except that necklace. Majestic, regal. And it is then you remember, oh, she comes from money, honey.
Am I in heaven?
You're certainly not in purgatory.
Um, and I think at this point, Kat sort of like walks up behind, like from behind Detroit. And if you are familiar with the movie musical The Wiz, you remember those children that were floating around the Good Witch of the North, like at the very end of the thing when like
It's been so
uh
long since I've
Lena
seen The
Horne was
Wiz.
singing "If You Believe," like all of the children that were like surrounding her, just like dressed in these like uh god dressed in this like material that was like very star-like and reflective. It's like I have put Kat in a onesie that's like very much just like Moon, like James Moon, D is Sun, Kat is a onesie North Star. Uh, and Kat just like
I just
trots up.
realized something.
Oh,
I never told you what Janeira's familiar is.
I was curious. I was wondering if Janeira had a familiar.
Janeira does have a familiar. It is a it is sort of like an articulated puppet of a knight, like a fully armored knight, enchanted to move.
Oh my god, how big is this knight? Is this like a person-sized knight?
No, it's like to her calf.
Adorable. Yes.
And if Cat is the North Star, the knight is the Aurora Borealis. So it's the knight's cape is just like the shimmering colors of the Aurora Borealis. And the suit of armor has gone from like a generic like sort of like steel color to like an obsidian like onyx sort of like I will blend in so my cape is the main feature.
Like, that is so interesting. I feel like Kat has tried to harass this familiar, but never
This
been
familiar
able
rock
to.
cat shit.
Yes, absolutely.
And now Kat's like, you're the only bitch in this house that I respect.
Like, I feel like Kat is like walking out, will glare like pointedly at me and just be like, will glare pointedly at D and just be like, I will not forget this indignity. Uh, a dress up cat? What is this? Instagram? How dare you? I will remember.
Who are you, a Kardashian?
uh, um, but probably we'll just like walk we'll walk up to the little night familiar and just like acknowledge the night as like the one equal familiar in the entire school. um and
I think
yeah.
Kat will bow, like very like towards like you, and then the knight will just sort of like kneel with its sword.
uh yeah, D would comment on their very strange relationship if not for the gorgeous woman standing right in front of her, about to escort her to the Appa Titty Moon Festival.
She holds out her arm to you as like very simply, Knight is granted like a sort of like platform of glyphs to sort of like hop up and like walk up so that uh they can sit on Janeira's shoulder. uh and she's, if so, Knight is on I think the familiar's name is just Knight, just like yours is just Cat.
Mm-hmm.
uh so Knight is on her, sitting on her right shoulder, and she holds out her left arm to you.
Detroit will take it.
And as the two of you walk, uh something bursts out of, or rather into, the school. It seems to be an infernal hellhound that charges Janeira and tackles her to the ground.
Absolutely not.
As soon as you reach for whatever magical implement you have, another hound attacks you from behind. And as the two of you are struggling against them, the camera sort of like turns and like rotates on this scene as like screaming and sounds of fighting are happening. It turns sort of like 90 degrees, snaps back into focus, and Professor Harvell opens his eyes. Let's try that again. So, as Professor Harvell walks from his room dressed in his formal attire, described in the finale,
How
we
dare
see
you, Caleb?
we see.
I'm sorry. Please continue, please.
That's why I love playing with characters with precognition.
Wild.
I can describe truly heinous shit and then go, nope, let's try that again.
Is this heaven? It's not purgatory. It's hell.
So, Detroit, you ask, is this heaven? And Janeira goes, it certainly isn't purgatory. And Professor Harvell, walking up, says, well, thankfully, due to me, you won't have to go to the other place. Sorry to throw a wrench into your formal plans, students, but you two are needed for a very particular thing.
Are you serious right now, Professor? I'm sure this is a mistake, cause I got all my stuff done. My I's are dotted, my T's crossed. Like, I triple checked my schedule, my workload, my everything. There is nothing that History of Magic House or Prefects need to do. We're good.
As you're going through this, Aerith sort of looks at his phone. 4 minutes. Are you really going to ask the divination professor if he messed up? Because in about 3 minutes and 45 seconds, you're going to be attacked by hellhounds that aren't actually hellhounds. Don't worry about it. What I need you two to do is not be here. There is no potential future that I have seen where the two of you here would not result in either one of you or both of you being either grievously injured or dying. So I need both of you not here. 2 minutes.
Like, I think D just sort of like puts her hands over her face and just says, "This is," and just like says under her breath, "This is exactly why I opted out of taking divination classes as an elective." That is wild. But apparently this is truth and what it needs to be. I don't want to stick around to see
1 minute, 10 seconds.
What hellhounds that aren't hellhounds to injure or kill us is happening. So I'll be like, okay, where are we going?
Perfect. Napola Trop. And he sort of snaps his fingers and a portal opens. Go through there, find a young woman named Talia Atwater, and help her. Don't worry, she won't be hard to find. Oh, and if you see Cherish, old lady, sort of white braids, tell her that Aerith said hi. You'll find her. Don't worry about it. Yeah. "20 seconds. Janeira just sort of like grabs your hand and pulls you through the portal.
Like, I feel like there is just the most withering look of just like, if this turns out and ends in the divination professor ruining Detroit's first date with Janeira Evenwood, he's gonna have an enemy for life. She wants him to know that in just the stare that she gives as she is being pulled through the portal in space and time. And Kat follows quickly behind.
And all you see is just Professor Harvell smiling at you. Just like that smirk of like, okay, you think that now. And for the camera, the portal closes as the two hellhounds that are not hellhounds start to charge Aerith Harvell and just go, really? Okay. As like Professor Harvell just sort of like opens his hands, and we saw a character that was described earlier in the season as having a magical signature that was akin to purple and blue butterflies. For Professor Aerith Harvell, it is brown and green moths. We don't get to see the rest of that altercation, as you find yourself transported not through the arcane avenue, but a full-on point A, point B portal to what seems to be a sleepy little town. You are teleported like right outside the town's limits. It's winter. It's cold.
Word. Is this place familiar to Detroit? Has Detroit ever been here?
Has Detroit ever been to Washington?
Absolutely not.
Then no.
Like, not Washington, D.C. You're talking about Washington State. Walla Walla, Washington?
Mm-hmm.
No. I feel like Detroit has never, like... Detroit hasn't been, like, too far outside of Baltimore, just in general. And just getting transported back into the mortal world, one. And then two, on the other side of the country, in a very unfamiliar place. She is feeling pretty unsettled by a bunch of stuff happening.
As you're
Jane
trying to
looking?
Jane's just sort of like looking around trying to like catalog what she can to sort of orient herself. And as you are orienting yourself, I'd like you to roll a brains check, difficulty of 10. Add your magic die.
Oh boy. Okay. This will be fine. Like, would I be casting a spell? Would I be, like, using my spell book and such?
This is your magic interacting with another form of magic and we'll see how simpatico it is.
Okay.
That's why I'm allowing your magic die.
So,
this is also a planned action, so you can take half. Okay, that's a 3.
And for the brains, we got big brains. It'll be fine. Look at that.
Okay,
it was so fine.
That is
17
5 and up. So you immediately recognize that there is magic at work here. A magic older than you may have seen before. And as you sort of like look out a bit, you kind of like squint your eyes trying to look further past like the quote unquote limits of this town or small city. It's more of a small town. You see this sort of like shimmering in the distance that sort of like oscillates between clear to like a purple blue duochrome. That seems to be a very powerful and very old glamour obscuring this town. And as you sort of look around and you're trying to follow like the waves of magic, and knowing that since you have a personal connection to magic, you can see this more easily than one who might be truly arcane trained with no personal connection to their magic. And you notice that Janeira clocks it too. Your eyes, both of your sets of eyes fall on a lovingly made sign called Blackbrook, Washington, the weirdest town on earth. So we're in Washington State?
This is not Washington, D.C.
Black. Professor Harvell is from here. Oh, was it Haven Rock? I can't remember.
Well,
and you see that Janeira is trying to like rack the like mental like Rolodex. See, kids, a Rolodex. Look it up. sort of like trying to like search like her memory banks, trying to figure out like where the correlation is and like why you two may have been sent here. As like some, it's cold, but like it's just like a little light snowfall. It's not like anything heavy. As like the snow starts to fall like lightly, Janeira's like cape slash cloak, she sort of pulls up her hood. It is a hooded cloak capelet thingy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like it is like large hood, collarbone sitting pretty, necklace right there,
Oh, um,
titties laid.
like I think there is, yeah, like this is like nighttime where we're at, right? Like
It's midday.
it's midday. Okay, good. Um,
It's
also
maybe you check your
strange.
phones and it's like noon.
Cool. Um,
Also, since common fucking sense, you notice that there is a notification from like your like maybe like music streaming service or like podcatcher or whatever that says new episode of a midnight dip out now. You've never heard of that podcast.
um, like fuck you magic stuff, of course. I will press a midnight dip and see if there are any clues, if there are any names like Harvell, like any of the ones that the professor was like telling us to go say hi to or meet up with and save.
As you press play, it's weird. It's like a recorded podcast, but it sounds like it's live, like a radio show. And you hear this voice just go, and in today's news, newcomers Detroit, DaVille, and Janeira Evenwood come to town. It seems that they're on a mission from my lovely godson, of course. So feel free to say hi. They're in very lovely formal attire. I think some celestial iconography. I know my friend Cherish will enjoy that. Coming up on 12:30 in the afternoon, and this is Ty Evans saying, "Hey, take care of yourselves out there. After all, tomorrow's never promised." And it seems to go to like a musical break. What the fuck?
Uh, I guess this is the weirdest town in Washington State.
At least we
Um,
don't have to sneak around.
I guess not. Um, and I think that Dee is going to get on. I think Dee is going to get on her broom, um, and just like have her spell book at the ready, just in case some shit pops off. Um, like she, one, just feels more comfortable in the air, and two, she's not great at battle magic, but like it's comforting to have on her. She knows at least one or two defensive spells thanks to Professor Bellwether. Um,
I think Janira settles in behind you, ready to support you with the battle magic that she's learned. Let's at least get
uh,
a lay of the land, right?
yeah. Um, you want to get a bird's eye view?
Why not?
Uh, I sort of sidle up next to her, like get give out a hand to like allow her to hop on, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll, I guess, try to like find a way to pierce the veil, the magical veil that has been set up, and try to see through it and see what's happening in this town.
Okay. So you're trying to pierce through this incredibly powerful ancient magic to see. Like, the town is open to you. It just seems that this town is hidden from the outside world. So you're trying to see what's going on in the outside world?
Oh, so nah, I just want to like go into the town. Um,
You can
if
easily just
like
fly up and into the small town.
yeah, if I can fly up and in and get like past
It's kind of got
the
like a
magic,
Riverdale vibe, but
got you.
like like the first season of Riverdale where it's kind of small and not and kids don't have gangs. and the rich daughter of like a known criminal doesn't have like a speakeasy under the diner. I know too much about Riverdale. I chose to know this
I
much about Riverdale.
I never I only know of Riverdale from being on the outskirts of Tumblr, like for a
That's
couple
very
of
fair.
years back in the
That's very
late
fair.
2015 to 2018 sort of
It
realm.
just recently ended.
Oh, besties, why would you do that?
Because they don't. Nope, Caleb, don't let it hurt you. So you fly up above the town,
I fly.
and as
I'm
you're
a kid
flying
on
and
a
trying to
broom.
get.
I do the
Yeah,
thing.
you are a kid on a broom. As you're flying, you sort of. Janeira points something out to you, and you sort of see like someone like running across the rooftops with like a compound bow and like a quiver on their back, but like modern clothing and like sort of like short, choppy brown hair. Like they sort of have like kind of like tannish or like light brownish skin, and they sort of like take an arrow, like knock it, aim it, and then just fire it out, and it lands like several meters in front of them. And as it sort of pierces whatever like building or like thing that they're aiming at, they just sort of blink out of existence and appear where the arrow was. And they sort of like stop, look up at you two, and go like, "Hey." They're sort of like awkwardly like, "What the fuck?" like you're the weird people in this town.
Yeah, I guess like they're saying hi. I guess Hawkeye's as good a lead as any. So we'll fly down.
I love this character so fucking much.
We'll fly down towards the building and see what magic Hawkeye's up to. Um, oh,
So-
I'm not sorry, but please continue.
So as you sort of like float down, you get more of their features. They've got like these very bright green eyes with like very prominent eye bags under them. They can't be older than like 19. Their ears are sort of pointed. They're sort of like wearing like this sort of, it's like a winter jacket, but it's like it's the sort of like vibe of like, I know it's cold, fuck you, it's cold, I'll just wear what I want, you know. Sort of like, and sort of like this sort of like brown, like sort of like this sort of like deep like forest brown, and like a bright green shirt that has like a band on it, a band called the Cuckoos, that has like a like four shadows over like a cauldron as they're insigniating. This character is also like very clearly 5'5". Like, so they sort of like look at you as you float down, and they just go, "Huh, I didn't think we'd get broom riders here. That's new. Hi."
You know, it's my favorite broom. Thank you for noticing. We're here. We
That's your favorite broom? You had to point that out to me? Okay. And they're sort of like absentmindedly like twirling like the arrow in their fingers.
Vibes. This town is very weird. We got called out on your podcast by some
Oh,
guy
it's
named
not my
Ty
podcast.
Evans. Um, well,
It's Ty's podcast. He's at the radio station right now.
radio station. Could you point us to the radio station?
Yeah,
I think we need to send a
it's a
message
big thing
to Ty.
with the glowing light right next to the community college, like right over there, and like very obviously, and you kind of look and go, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense."
Okay. My dude, I'm from Baltimore. Like, there are many buildings that look important. Like, I can't just fly up to every single one.
I mean,
Thank
you could.
you. Thank you so much for the directions. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I'm going through something. It's been a very long day for me.
Clearly.
Yeah. Like, we'll leave you to your arrow parkour.
Thanks. I'll leave you to your broom riding. If you happen to, and if you happen to get lost, and you notice that Janeira is just like, wait, and like I sort of like go back as she clocked something you didn't, that a blackbird was following this guy. And if you get confused, and like the blackbird sort of like flies down, and the young person that called out your headmistress, Rowan Abernathy, appears before you. Rowan can probably show you the way. Oh, hi. You're here. Weren't you standing outside the academy when my grandmother tried to murder my friend?
My headmistress tried to kill your uncle. That went viral on Wizard World Star. I am really sorry about that. This is an awkward thing to just start out a conversation with. Hi, I'm Dee. That's Jane. It's good to meet you. I'm sorry, my headmistress is awful.
I'm Rowan again, and this is my friend Aramis Orestes. Yeah, cool. Tell him my government name. That's so nice of you. Thanks, Rowan.
I have already forgotten it, Mesty.
Cool. Same.
No, D doesn't say that. God.
Like, you get the overwhelming vibe from Aramis that their whole mentality is only God can kill me.
That's a very bold statement.
And they're short kings.
That's a very bold statement for a 5'5" short king with a bow and arrow. Okay. I'm gonna just let you be over there. Rowan, I would really appreciate a guide. This town seems really, really weird.
It is.
Like the divination professor is sort of, I think, saved us from a couple of hellhounds. And
They're
brought
not
us
actually
here.
hellhounds.
I feel like you know more. Do you want to like land somewhere
spoilers.
and talk or something?
I mean, my feet are planted on this rooftop. You're the one that's on the broom.
Yeah, like I didn't know if we were like on a rooftop or like on the side of the building because he had shot the arrow.
Yeah, no, you're on a rooftop.
Like I'll sort of like go down far enough so that Kat and anybody that wants to get off the broom can do so. But Detroit just feels more comfortable on a broom.
As soon as Cat like lands and Aramis sort of like sees this cat, like, what the fuck is this cat wearing? It's so shiny. It's so wild. I'm gonna take a picture of this cat. Aramis just like takes a picture of your cat and just texts us out. And the cat's like,
please no fast photography. Cat is very sensitive about and
Cat's just kind of looking back, looking between the two of you, like, what the fuck? Like,
it is on the internet forever now, bestie. I'm so sorry. I promise I will not monetize.
The Aramis says to Rowan, I think ESW is going to get a kick out of this. Do you call him that because of his initials or what he is? Both. Oh. Okay.
Rowan, level with me, dude. What's going on? You seem to know something about the hellhounds that attacked
simple.
my teacher.
My grandmother is planning on trying to pin the blame for all the loss of magic on the infernal community. And so she's enchanted and glamoured training dummies to look like hellhounds, blaming me in the process. Your friends will fix it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew the Apple Titty Moon Festival had some like very, very red flag vibes.
Yeah, no, Apate is the name of the Greek goddess of lies and deceit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know all that.
So if Aerith sent you here, that probably means that you're here for something important. Or he didn't want to see you two hurt.
That is sweet. And
also,
I have never talked to that man before on campus ever. That's weird. I'm sorry. Please, continue.
Also, Aramis is a half-elf with the ability to project his physical self with each arrow, bouncing around a battlefield like no one's business. He's also the best archer that I know. Oh, well, thanks. Kind of blurted out my whole thing without my consent, but yeah, cool. Thanks for the compliment. He also plays a lot of League of Legends. Okay, whoa. We didn't have to go into that.
So, Legolas, Nightwing, and then we're just doing
not Nightwing stuff. But close, kind of. Janeira's like, oh, I get it. Yeah, all right.
I'm trying to make lighthearted nicknames to sort of lighten the mood. This is, wow, we could have almost died trying to go to the dance.
Well, yes, knowing my grandmother, you two are probably the most resourceful and powerful spellcasters. Well, Janeira is incredibly powerful, and you would probably pull everyone together. So without your unique spin on things, the group will probably be adrift for a little bit.
Now I feel kind of bad that I'm not there.
They'll figure it out.
Okay.
If I know Aerith Harvel, he's considered every possibility to make sure that we end up in a good one.
Big Doctor Strange energy, I see.
Fuck Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Like, it's fine.
Fuck that condescending white man who colonized magic.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, boo-hoo, my hands are damaged. fuck off, dude. Get used to your fucking life. Don't. And like you can see Rowan get heated.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No more of that. We don't need to.
Yeah, no, we don't need to
I
get
got
into it.
it.
We'll be here for like 2 hours. Well,
Um
this conversation has been incredibly boring and confusing, so I'm gonna go. Have fun with your little task thingy or whatever. And then Aramis sort of like knocks an arrow, just sort of like kind of like aims it somewhere and just sort of like falls off a building, disappearing in like this green flash of energy. He gets him. You need to get used to him for him to not be an absolute gamer trash gremlin.
Gamer trash gremlin. Cool. Um the mission that we were sent here to do
Mm-hmm.
was to save someone. I think it was Ty Evan.
No, it was
No,
Tally Atwater.
Tally Atwater. Say hi to Ty Evans.
No, it was say hi to Cherish Montenegro.
Right. I'm so sorry. I like
Engineer's like, it's all right. That was a very confusing conversation that we just had.
and
We're still trying to get our bearings.
yeah, like I think D is going to take a deep breath and say, Rowan,
Hi.
thanks for running us through the basics of what's happening back on campus. Can you help us? Can you help us find these people that are apparently in trouble? At least if Dr. Harvell thinks they're in trouble.
Rowan just sort of like peeks over the edge of the building. Oh, well, Cherish is right there and she'll probably help you the most. And like Rowan just points to like the sort of like elderly black woman in like her like mid 70s with like long grayish white braids, just saying sprite, they sort of like lively as can be, saying hi to everybody. She's like in this like beautifully patterned like coat and dress, just saying hi to everybody. Like this is like the town nana, you know, like this is Grammy. You know? This is grandmama, you know. So
Vibes.
I would start there.
But, um, yeah, I think I think D would. I think D remembers how much Jane wanted to know about demon magic. And there is a whole ass practitioner of demon magic right in front of us now. Um, and we'll sort of turn to her and say, I am really good at talking to folks. I can talk to this person, see what is
Are you trying to
up.
desert me on a rooftop on our first date?
I'm trying to give you a chance to get some alone time with some devil magic
That was the
practice
most
if you wanted.
awkwardly you could have probably. That was the most awkward way you probably could have phrased that.
I'm I It's sunny and it was nighttime like a second ago. There's a lot happening.
Also, I'm not the right person to ask. I'm very new to this myself. If you want to ask a true blue demon, there's the Dark Horse Bar. The owner, Bane, is a demon. He's nice, got a nice accent.
You seem really cool, Rowan. Do you want to come with us on our quest to do? I still don't know what we're doing, but do you want to come hang out with us?
You see Rowan sort of consider it and sort of close their eyes as this sort of infernal energy spirals out of the center of their forehead as a third eye opens and then closes. No, I am actually needed elsewhere. I've got to get to New Halcyon City. I gotta see some old friends and make sure they don't, die.
Yeah,
Some of them are
lots
locked
of
up right
death
now.
happening today.
Well,
Good luck with that. Stay safe.
It'll be fine. I just gotta break some people out of a police state. Help lead a
Noble
revolution.
work, it seems.
It's a Tuesday. And Rowan just kind of smirks at that as this sort of large, looming blackbird portal opens in front of them. And they go, "Oh, and Detroit? If someone from Obsidian calls, answer the phone." As they just sort of step through.
Everything is so cryptic today.
Ooh, how long has Detroit been in the map? You know what? Roll me a brains check, difficulty of 14.
Love that for me. Jesus. Yeah, we're doing fine. We're on our broom. We have the mastermind sweeper, so we get a +1 to this.
You could also, if you want to look up Obsidian as they might mean it in this context, you could use a common sense die for using your phone.
I'll go ahead and do that.
That, and I also want Detroit to know what Obsidian is.
That's
Hell
21.
Yeah! That is a 21. That is 7 over. You have heard of this organization before. Let me pull up the relevant information.
They're like the wizard feds, right? Yes? No.
Their name has been mentioned before. They were mentioned in episode 3. So let me just... Obsidian, or the Observational Supernatural Intelligence Directive invested in aiding nations, is an organization meant to help supernatural creatures, meaning magic practitioners, any sort of creature of the night, and anyone that sort of falls into that jurisdiction, be safe and be protected as they interact with the mortal world. You know that Pyrrhus has a cousin that works for Obsidian, and they do know about what's been going down at Abernathy Academy. So whatever danger your friends are going to be in, they may not have you, but they do have potentially Obsidian agents coming to help out. Don't know why they'd call you, though.
We that's a lot to unpack right now. Um, so we'll just take a deep breath. Um, Look over to Jane and be like, are you ready to talk to what seems like a really nice grandma? Hopefully, this is a nice grandma and not like a Venus flytrap monster in disguise. I'm having a stressful day. I
Hey,
don't usually.
and Janeira sort of like takes you by the hands, and she'll go, "It's okay. We'll figure this out, and we'll help this tally at water, and then we'll go home, and it's fine. It'll be all right. If anyone can figure this out, it's you, and me, but also you."
I'm really worried about my house. I feel like there's a good minority of them that are just gonna be up to some fuck shit tonight. And I'm
Well,
really
if they
worried
fuck
about
around, they'll
everyone
find
being
out.
okay.
Now, come on, let's go meet this Miss Cherish, shall we? Thank y'all so much for listening to Dee and Jane's Wintertime Adventure Part 1. Part 2 is out with this episode, so you can go and listen to it. My name is Kaleb Wade. My lovely player was Anita. Links to where you can find us will be in the description below. This was edited in Audacity and recorded with Riverside.fm, if I remember correctly. We did try like a new recording way thing for the start of season 3, but gotta say, Riverside probably got my heart. I hope your holidays were merry and happy, and with the new year comes a lot of stress, but some promise. So let's make it the best year possible, or at least the best year we can. Remember that you are not alone, you are loved, and you don't have to do anything on your own in these dark times. Bye, everybody.